Welcome to 40 Below Zero, an international podcast about life with invisible illnesses, hosted by two guys living with multiple sclerosis. Coming to you from the Keystone State of Pennsylvania, I'm your co-host Nix, and with me on this ride is Terry, a Londoner who calls Ontario home. We're so happy you're here with us as we continue to try and normalize a life that is anything but. So let's get into it. Welcome back, Warriors. We're so glad that you're here. Terry, happy MS Awareness Month, sir. We made it again.
Awesome, man. Happy MS Awareness Month. That's right. You know, what's funny is that MS Awareness Month, is that for the whole world or is that just because in Canada, it's MS World Day on May 30th,
Yeah,
just so you
that's what I.
know.
I know. That's you know, um, that's my birthday. That's my birthday gift to everyone. I let World MS Day happen.
Dude, is it really?
Hmm.
How do I forget that?
I don't know because you have
No.
cog fog. I have no idea.
Yo, no, for real. Man,
For real.
whoa. How am I forgetting that? Your
Uh,
birthday's on MS World Day? That's funny. Okay.
Yeah, it is funny.
All right. Hopefully I won't forget now.
I hope not either. But no,
Dude.
so glad you're all back with us. We have a lot to talk about today. We're gonna have a returning guest coming up soon. She's gonna be talking with us about she had a baby. So we're gonna talk about what, if anything, changed while during the pregnancy and now. So we're gonna hear about that. Um, I have an ambassador call later tonight.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. Well, everything's ramping up now because MS Awareness Week's coming up.
That's right.
I have an email in. Hopefully, the local commissioners will read a proclamation declaring, MS Awareness Week. So we'll see if they're good with that.
Okay.
Um, what's going on with you?
So I got accepted into that Parkwood Center where I get to use their FES bike, which stands
Okay,
for Functional Electrical Stimulation Therapy Bike.
nice.
So yeah, I'm excited. I will definitely take footage of that too.
So the first question I have is this a recumbent bike with your arms or with the legs?
It's with the legs,
Okay, all right.
and yeah, no, it's with the legs, and they attach electrical currents that pass through my legs, and I don't know. I'm gonna check it out. There's a website. I'll put the website down in the description in case anybody wants to read about it. And dude, I'm open to anything. So if someone says, "Hey, you should try this," definitely let's try it and see what happens. Right?
Yeah, because that's how you approach rock climbing.
Yeah, exactly.
Indoor. It's rock climbing, right? There's no other word for it.
Yeah, it's rock climbing. It's
Okay.
indoor, but it's rock climbing. Yes, yes.
They don't call it like
I know.
scaling or anything.
No, I used to say the same thing. I'm like, is it
Okay.
wall climbing or rock climbing? It's
That's
considered
what I got
rock
hung.
climbing, but yeah, yeah,
Okay. That's what I got hung up on.
yeah. So I'm excited to use this FES bike, and I'll definitely take some footage of it just to show people,
That'd be interesting to
what it
see
looks like.
because you're gonna get shocked. That's the clip. I feel like that's gonna be the reel that you're gonna make for Instagram is you getting electricity like lightning bolts jolted.
Dude, it's cool. Let me just read the benefits that they write here. It increases um, in bulk of stimulated muscles, increases in bone density in some leg bones, reduced body fat content, which I need on my legs, improved cardiovascular health, reduced risk of diabetes, reduced spasticity in stimulated muscles, and maintained flexibility. Awesome.
Yeah, seriously.
Perfect.
That's all things move it or lose it, right?
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah. So,
That's pretty
yeah.
exciting.
Yeah. And on another note, let's start again. On another note, I got MS Canada called me and they're interested in me starting in a men's group.
That is awesome. You text that to me a little while ago, I think when it happened.
Oh, did I?
And
Okay, cool.
yeah, but I'm not first of all, I'm not surprised, number one, given your history with support groups.
Yeah.
Um, but did they say did they just reach out of the blue? Did they
Yeah, I know. Well, you know me. I have a relationship with these guys. You know, they know
Hmm.
who I am. So I don't want to brag, but I want to say they approached me first, along with another person who I
Okay.
know, which is a perfect combination. So I can't wait to get that started. And it's up to them. I'm waiting for their call, right? It just started. So I don't know
All
how
right.
long it's going to take. It shouldn't take that long, but we'll see.
Now, in person or virtual?
Virtual.
I got lots of questions. Okay, so virtual.
Yeah.
Uh, is that local to you or is it nationwide or is it
National.
national? Nice.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah. It should be. It should be. This is like flagship
Okay.
support group for men. Like there's one for women, there's one for men, there's one for everybody.
Hmm.
But yeah, definitely men have a lot to talk about that maybe they don't want to talk about publicly, you know?
Yeah, well, that's what we run into all the time, right? When we're booking guests, is that people have a lot to say. They email us all the time. They're always communicating, but then when we ask them, "Hey, do you want to come on?" There's a reservation. And I completely understand that because, we've been fortunate this season to have a couple of guests who for the first time were telling the world. And that's not easy. You know,
And
you have to be in a certain you have to be in a certain state with it. You got to be, you got to be at peace with it.
and after they talk about it, they feel so good. Like
Hmm.
I'm sure you've heard all of it about it, but they feel so good. They feel so light and they feel like
Oh
it's
yeah,
a fresh start.
they're unburdening themselves. You're carrying this huge, piece of your life around. Um, Matter of fact, I, I was watching. Kit and I were watching Law and Order SVU the other night.
Okay.
Do you ever watch that show?
No.
No. Okay. So we were watching that show.
Yeah.
The the main character of the episode
Yeah.
was unfortunately, the whole show is about people who get assaulted, right? Unfortunately, this woman was assaulted in Times Square while she was on a trip from somewhere in the Midwest. I can't remember, Nebraska, Oklahoma. I don't know. Um, but the reason why she was in Times Square alone was because she had just received a diagnosis of multiple sclerosis and she didn't want to tell her husband. She didn't know how to tell her husband. So she went on a bucket list trip
Okay.
to Times Square, where unfortunately, she got assaulted. But it was crazy to watch the episode because every other character, when they found out that this woman had received this diagnosis, they were all like, oh, yeah, like they were treating it like, of course you should go on your bucket list trip. You have an MS diagnosis.
Yeah.
And I'm the whole time I'm watching it, I'm like, no, 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 stop. Like that's not necessarily
It's not a death sentence.
right. Like
Yeah.
I was like, man, they got it wrong. Like kudos to them for having, that be the reason why she went on a bucket. Like it was really weird to see that be the main focus, especially like right before MS Awareness Month.
Yeah.
So
Do,
I don't know if they planned it that way or what, but
I'm gonna say no, but I'm so happy that people are recognizing it. Just like
right.
that just like that TV show, the comedy show. I can't remember. Kim's Convenience. I get it's based in Toronto,
Hmm.
but Kim's Convenience, the mom in season 4 gets diagnosed with MS. And I don't know why, but I get happy. I'm like, yeah,
Well,
nice.
that's the double-edged sword. Like on the one hand, we're like, yes, we're being represented, but on the other hand, we're like, oh, so close. I was like, damn it.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, yeah. We're being recognized because we're growing,
Right.
which sucks,
Yeah. But
but
I
it's
just thought
cool.
that was so if you don't watch it, that episode's at least worth checking out. It was one of the newer episodes. I don't know. I don't even know what season they're on, like season 100 or something. I don't know. It's been on forever.
Okay, Law and Order.
Mhm.
I definitely
SVU.
will not check it out.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to mention it because
Yeah.
you can
No, it's cool. It's cool. I get it. I get it. Trust me. I've been telling everyone about that Kim's Convenience when it came out. I'm like, guys, she got diagnosed. You get excited. I get it, bro.
yeah, I've been watching pretty much every episode of that show.
Okay.
I'll, I probably have the majority of them I've watched.
You know what, bro? I'm gonna watch one episode just to see what it's about. I've heard about it, like it's
Well,
famous.
you should watch the last episode, then you'll
Oh,
understand what I'm talking about.
okay. I'll check it out. I'll do my homework. But hey, I didn't fall.
Oh, that's
But
good.
what?
Oh
My
God.
freaking arm, man, the muscle is just gone today. And
Mm,
I need my arms for everything. You know what I
mm-hmm.
mean? But like to raise my arm is just torture.
Yeah.
And I need to use my arms to pull, to transfer. So now I'm like, I'm dealing with it. It's getting better. I just think I need to move it more or whatever. We'll see.
Well, if I know your trainer listens.
Yes, yes. I'm gonna blame him, Mark. No, I don't think it's him, man. I use my legs to lift my legs up,
Mm,
when I transfer, and I don't know. It's just something. In the last 3 years, I have never gotten this, so
mm.
we'll just say it's a fluke.
Well, speaking of transfer, how's did you get the shower situation
So
squared away?
yeah, I've done a quick fix kind of deal, and it's working for now. So
Okay.
I put benches and stuff around.
Okay.
Yeah, doesn't look so pretty. It's fine. It's
I was
fine.
gonna say, who needs to see it?
Exactly. And if anyone did see it, they'd be like, "This is fine." But to me,
Only
it's like it's
only two groups of people are gonna see your house. It's gonna be the people you invite in and the people who invite themselves in. Either way, they're not gonna be worried about what your bathroom
yo,
looks like.
never invite yourself in. I'll not be a happy person. That's not cool.
That's like I make sure the dishes are done every night before I go to bed so that in case someone breaks into my house, they won't think I'm dirty.
Dude, no, I understand because my place was like a museum at one point. Just in case someone comes over, they're like, "Oh, you got it together." It's like, "Yeah, I do." But,
Yeah, but we don't live in the age of people just stopping by anymore. Everyone announces themselves by text. If if someone randomly knocks on my door, it's either a delivery or a bill collector, and thankfully I don't have too many bill collectors. So,
you get bill collectors knocking on doors.
well, if it gets that far, but
Right.
thankfully it doesn't for me.
Let me see your hands. I want to see if you have any missing fingers.
No, I'm all good.
All right, you're good.
My knees are still intact too.
You're good. Mine are sore, but yeah. Um, I voted.
You voted. Wait a minute. You guys had an
Our
election?
Yeah, we had an election, so I went over. I could have voted through mail. There's a new system going on, but I wanted to go in and vote like a regular person. So yeah, that was fun. It's always fun to vote. Everyone should
Is,
vote.
is this I did you go to test the accessibility of of your voting place? Is that why you went?
No, no, I'm sure it's accessible. Why would they? It has to be accessible. That would be such a dumb move. But
Yeah.
no, but you know what? I was tired because we went at like 7 p.m. at night,
Hmm.
and I was tired. So as I was getting into the car, I felt I was tired. I barely got into the car, but I knew that was going to be a problem. Come back home. After I voted, I went back to the car, and it took me like 20 minutes to transfer into the car. So
Really?
yeah, yeah, it's I get beside the car and to stand up and get into the car. Every time I stood up, I had to sit down again because my legs were
Mm,
just giving out. And yeah, it just whatever. It just takes time, and the time is the brutal part because you're just sitting there and people are watching you. And
yeah.
I'm thinking in my head, someone's gonna offer to help me, even though I'd be like, no, I'm okay. But because we're just sitting there and it's snowing, I'm getting wet and whatever. But 20 minutes into it, I stood up and got in. Everything was fine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's fine. It's the life of MS, man. Like nothing's
That's
new.
yeah, that's it. Just the grind.
Yep.
Now, do you have any weather gear? Like I see all these things on the internet where they have like ponchos and tarps for people in wheelchairs. Do you have any of them?
There's a lady in my building. Her husband, sadly, he passed away. he was in a wheelchair. I never got to meet him, but he had a poncho that
Mm-hmm.
she bought for him and she gave it to me. I
Oh,
don't know.
really? Okay.
You know what I'd wear if I went to a baseball game?
I
Maybe
got
I'd
you.
wear it, but I don't know if I'd wear it, wheel around, you know.
Yeah, I'm the same way. I'd rather just not go out.
Dude, when it's cold outside, I just go straight into a car. So I wear a sweater, but I don't wear a jacket because when
Yeah.
I wear a jacket, it gets too fluffy and it touches the wheels and gets dirty.
Yep.
So no need.
That's another thing that, another thing that I had to think about is how to change my attire slightly for the same reason. Because I have a whole, like, I have my winter coat, obviously, but
Yeah.
then I have like a sweatshirt vest combination so that way, and it's actually a heated vest.
Yeah.
So it has, I
I know.
walk
I
around,
know. I
I
saw.
roll around with a heater on.
Hold on. It's not a heated vest. It's a vest and you put the heated.
I have that, and I also have
Oh,
a tech vest where I just like push a button and the battery pack heats it up.
I have seen that before.
So I have one of them. So that's how
Cool.
I get away with not wearing like a winter jacket if I need to use the wheelchair in the winter.
Excellent. Yeah. That's what
Yeah.
I need.
Yep.
Yeah.
I highly recommend it because not only does the vest gets super warm, um, but it also charges your phone if you need it to too because it's a battery pack. So
That's so cool, man. That's so, you know
I'm
what? Because of you, I got the ice vest, the cooling vest,
uh-huh.
where you get the ice pockets, ice packets.
Yep.
So you know what? I'll get that next winter for sure.
Yep. The
That's
heated
cool.
vest. I'll have to send it to you. And again, it was just off of Amazon. It was only like, you know, $60 or so. It was
Do you know what that means?
what?
Surjeet's in the waiting room.
Ah, okay. It means our guest is here.
Yes.
Surjeet. We haven't talked to her in a while.
Yeah, we haven't. I still keep in touch with her, but I had no idea that she was pregnant. Like maybe that's why I haven't seen her in a while, but hopefully we get introduced to her new family member.
Let's see. Bring her in.
No.
Hi guys,
Surjeet, how are you? Welcome back to the show.
thank you so much. And my boss is also here with me.
Wow, look at that shirt. Just joking. Look at that, baby.
Look at those
Awesome.
cheeks.
I'm going to make him wear this instead.
That's so cool.
Say
Awesome.
hi to uncle. Say hi, tell your uncle. Nick uncle, how are you?
Hi.
That's so
He's so
cool.
sleepy.
Oh
He's
yeah, for
actually sleepy. Oh, hi.
sure.
Oh, how are you guys?
Dude, we're good. Thank you for introducing us. That's so awesome. Where?
I'm introducing. So we have named him as Manak, and
Monica.
I'm introducing Manan for the first time to anyone ever on the podcast.
Really?
So
Oh,
exclusively
thank you so
for
much. Yay.
I'm not even introduced him on my channel yet. So
That's
he's
wonderful.
your exclusive guest for the day, you can say.
We love it. Thank you so much for being here with us today. It's so good to see you. You look wonderful. I'm glad you're healthy. Um, the big question right off the bat, other than how are you doing, is what, if anything, has happened with the MS during the pregnancy? That's the big question, right?
Yes, and that's a very important question. Just give me a moment. Can I just put him to bed for a
Take
Go.
week?
all the time you need.
Take your
Give me
time.
a second. Thank you.
That's a cool chair, eh? I want to. No, no, no. That one. That one. The one she's sitting on. But yours too. Yours too.
They gave you a gaming chair in the hospital. That's awesome.
Hey
um,
guys, thank you so much for inviting me here today. I'm really honored to be here, and this is very good because you're doing this on the MS Awareness Month, and this is really special and
ex-
important. I do understand. I have been on off social media for some time because during my pregnancy, I wanted to be off much of the screen, off much of radiations from the mobile, so I've not been using much of the gadgets. So yeah, that was one of these reasons that I stayed away from much of mobiles and stuff.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, so the question that you asked me was what happened to me during pregnancy if everything was normal. Um, so when I was diagnosed with MS, the first question in my mind was, will I ever be able to get pregnant? And that's what the question in every girl's mind is when
Yeah.
she's diagnosed with MS. And when I got pregnant, I just left everything on God, and I was very confident on my doctor and the way my journey was going. Since I am on Avenix, which is interferon beta, so that particular drug, that particular DMT can be taken during pregnancy. So I
Okay.
continued taking it for 7 months, the seventh month of the pregnancy. After that, I felt that every time I used to take the DMT, I started having migraines, which I was not very comfortable with. So my doctor said, okay, you can stop taking it now, or you could have stopped earlier, or what, it was your choice. So, anyways, till
Yeah.
seventh month I took, and after that, I have been normal, I have been fine. And it is said that pregnancy is a very beautiful, blessed period, and it's a miracle of God that during pregnancy you don't get relapses. And I witnessed it. And I was just feeling blessed every moment of that time during my 9 months. I was really happy. I was scared that after pregnancy, I would get a relapse. I might get a relapse. In fact, when I had my cesarean done, so when the anesthesia was going to be given to me, the doctor said that after taking anesthesia, sometimes what happens that MS patients do get a relapse immediately. So you might get a relapse. You have to keep a track of all the symptoms that you can have or must have had in the past. And so yeah, I said it's okay. Whatever it has to be done has to be done. I got the anesthesia done, and I went through the delivery. I kept noticing how my legs are reacting because my, of course, lower part of the body was all numb. Um, and with God's blessing, everything was all good.
Oh,
So
so
yeah,
good.
yeah, my doctor
Whew.
had told me it's not that you'll get the relapse immediately. You might get maybe after a month, maybe 6 months, or maybe a year. You never know. So you
Sure.
can't say that during pregnancy you will get a relapse, or during pregnancy immediately you will get a relapse. Everybody is different. Everybody is different. So yeah, that's what had
Yeah.
happened with me.
Oh, it's so good to hear that. Oh my goodness. So not only, do you have the reservations and the fear, the normal fears that any woman would have during their pregnancy, but then you're in the back of your mind, you're like, is this the moment that, now I'm off my DMT for the first time in a while. Now I'm like, oh, there's so many things. Oh my goodness. I can only imagine how terrifying that was.
When you had the migraines when you were an archivist, when you were on
Avenex.
Avenex, I was on Avenex once back in the day. When
Yeah.
you had migraines and you stopped taking Avenex, did it go away?
Yes, it
So
did.
it was the Avenex. Wow. Okay.
Yeah,
It,
actually, I was, because of Avenex, you get the side effects of it for like 1 day, actually.
oh, like flu-like
So,
symptoms, right?
flu-like symptoms. So, I was a migraine was never a part of the side effects of Avenex for me. But during pregnancy, I started experiencing it. In fact,
Yeah.
it is said that during pregnancy, things like migraine becomes very common. But it's a blessing. I have to say, it's a blessing from God that my migraines did not even come. My migraines all got sorted out during pregnancy, except for the time when I was taking Navinex. 3, 4 episodes it happened that I was getting migraines, and I completely stopped Navinex, and it all went away.
Mm.
You look so good after pregnancy, after delivering.
I think this t-shirt is making me look
Yeah,
much.
relax, sis.
So you know what? I got this T-shirt. So something had happened. The courier person had left his parcel in someone else's house, and I got this T-shirt after 3 months or something. It happened. So I finally got my parcel, and when I got this, I was already pregnant, and I could not wear it.
oh, it's okay.
I promised you guys that I'll probably make a reel and then
It's
I'll show
okay.
it off. I could not. So this is the first time wearing it, anyways.
No
Thanks
stress
to
at all.
you for being so patient.
No, not at all. I didn't even think of that. I didn't. I'm not sending these shirts to make people wear them on camera. I'm just sending it as a gift. It's, thank you for starting our first 2 seasons with us.
Thank you. You're very kind. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Awesome. First of all, MS Awareness Month. You are our first guest for MS Awareness Month.
Mhm.
Thank you.
And
Thank you so
yeah,
much.
no,
Well, technically, first two guests, Terry.
Oh, thank you.
oh, bro, I'm like, who else did we have? Awesome. Can you tell
Yes,
us your baby's name again, please?
it's Manak, Manak.
Okay, Manak.
So he's the main guest. I'm the secondary guest. I can say that, and I do accept it as
Okay,
well.
okay. You're so cool. Thank you so much for coming today.
Thank you so much
I
for inviting me.
and whoever is handling your camera, maybe one day we'll get to see him.
So my
I,
brother was here.
oh,
He was
okay,
with me handle the camera, but then I kept baby to sleep there, so he's with him. I
awesome.
So,
don't leave the baby at all alone in the room. Whenever he's sleeping, I have to be there. Someone has to be there with him. So
Mhm. So what advice would you give to any of our listeners out there who are hesitant about pregnancy?
Um, yes. So whoever is actually thinking of pregnancy or planning pregnancy or is pregnant, I'll say that pregnancy is the most beautiful journey you can ever experience. So enjoy it every day, every second of it. Don't be afraid of it. The way it is said that you don't get relapsed during the pregnancy, you really do not get. So you get a chance to live your life normally once again. That is the most beautiful thing. Don't think of things which you don't even know. Just it is just unknown whether you will get a relapse or not. Just don't fear of something which is unknown to you at the present. So at present, enjoy every moment, and you have your doctors, right? You have your medical system, right? So they will take care of you if something happens, God forbid. But right now, I'll say that pregnancy is very beautiful. Motherhood is extremely beautiful. Don't get scared of entering this phase into life just because of MS. We always say that MS cannot control you, cannot stop you from doing what you want. So don't let it stop you from getting pregnant, becoming a mother. If when you become a mother, you will really feel that you will understand what your mothers have gone through to bring you in the world. And I think it is extremely beautiful. It's a blessing from God. And one more advice, the way I was taking care of my diet and exercise before my pregnancy, I did even during the pregnancy period. I did not eat anything from outside, no junk food, no chips, nothing like that. The only food which I had was home cooked food. During 9 months, they say that girls do get a lot of craving of junk food and this and that during pregnancy, and they need to hog a lot of things. I did not. I did not even crave for sweets. I did not even, I controlled my cravings as well to an extent. So I was very, very clean for my diet during my diet 9 months of pregnancy, and I have been doing yoga during my pregnancy religiously. Of course, when you are pregnant, you have to do different kind of yoga for different trimesters, and I did follow that different kind of trimesters, different kind of yoga. So just go with it, do it, and stay positive and happy. We always say in MS, right? Clean diet, exercise well, stay away from negativity, be positive. That's what you have to follow during pregnancy as well. So there's nothing to be afraid of. Just do whatever you're doing right now and things will be fine. God bless you.
God bless you. Thanks for stopping by, checking in with us today. You look beautiful. Happy long life to you and the baby.
Thank you so much. Thanks for inviting me. I'm so happy to be here once again. My thank you from Manak as well for inviting him here.
Dude, so grateful you came on today. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a wonderful day.
I'll
Thanks.
talk to you soon for sure.
Thanks.
Wow, that was awesome. It's so nice of her to take time
That was
to
great.
come and talk to us. What a beautiful child.
That was
And
great.
great advice. Don't let it stop you. Don't be afraid. Just keep in touch with your doctors. so that you can
And
monitor all the things.
no symptoms during pregnancy. Is really cool.
How about that? You got that's a pretty unbelievable. Oh, we got somebody else in the waiting room. You
You
got it.
got it.
You're always hitting two guests. That's just
You got
good.
it.
Who do we got? Who do we got coming in?
It's MS month, man.
It is. We're
We got to
packing.
bring people from around the world, bro. We got Anita. Did I just say it like a Anita? I always wreck names. I don't know why. But Anita, what's up?
Welcome back.
Thank you. What have you been up to?
Happy MS Awareness Month.
Is it?
Yeah.
Mhm.
It's different in every country. I don't think it was.
Oh, okay. I
So I got to do World MS Day on the 30th. That's why everyone gets on the same page
It's
there.
so confusing. Yeah. I guess so. Wait, isn't it MS Awareness Month in the UK too? I don't know.
It might be. I normally wait for the internet to tell me.
Dude, it's MS Awareness Month every day for us.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. So
That
what you
is
guys
so-
been up to then?
We have
Doing
been
much?
clicking along, doing all these videos. One of the things that I wanted to talk about was we talk about a lot about being ambassadors, and being MS Awareness Month. I would say for you, what's what's it like? Everyone who has MS, in my opinion, is an ambassador to the disease. So what have you had any experiences where you've felt like you've had to explain to people what's going on with your life? If you want to talk about that.
Yeah, all the time basically,
Hmm.
especially within my world of climbing. So because it's an invisible condition, a lot of people don't understand how it affects me.
Hmm.
So I tend to need to explain to them either what a lesion is or how it affects me, because obviously it affects everybody differently. Um, it's interesting because it's a really hard disease to explain, as you guys know, because everybody works differently.
Hmm.
But generally, it's raising awareness of how it affects me and how it affects me on my daily life. And uh, sometimes I can do things, sometimes I can't. Sometimes I can do things. Why am I using my crutches one day and not the next? Generally, when I'm using my aids, that's when people start asking me questions. What's wrong? Why have you got aids? That kind of thing. Not
Yeah,
aids,
I
but
fall into that too. I know
climbing.
you're. Yeah, I know what you're talking about. I fall into that a lot too because I go from walking to wheelchair depending on the day. So I also find myself explaining why I'm doing. Because people who see me go, they say, "Oh, you must have gotten worse," and that's not necessarily gotten worse. It's just I'm a little worse off right at the moment.
Yeah, I call
You
it a
know.
flare up, like how something's
Hmm.
flaring up. So
Yep.
And you look fine. Like you climb, you look like a pro climbing. So people must not even believe you have MS. You know what I
I'm
mean?
not sure
Because
if it's whether they believe have MS. I don't think they necessarily understand why I am called a paraclimber. So obviously, uh, with it being an incurable disease at the moment,
Hmm.
then
yeah.
it's trying to explain to people what the 4 stages are and which stage I am and why
Mhm.
I'm still the same as I was compared to 14 years ago. And then, well, why is that person in a wheelchair and why does that famous person look worse than they did 6 months ago? And I'm like, they might have a different condition to me, as in a different stage.
Mhm.
Yeah, I seem to run into that also, where people will ask me, they'll compare me to some celebrity, and they'll say, "Well, this person got on
Terry?
this diet." Yeah, Terry, that my Instagram celebrity. They'll say, "Well, this person did this diet, and it basically cured their MS." And I'm like, "Well, that's good for
What?
that person,
Get out of
you
here.
know.
Yeah.
You only know about it because they happen to be famous, you know."
I used
Well,
to get
that's
that
it.
all
That
the
leads
time.
me on to this doctor. I can't remember what the doctor's name was. I think it's an American that basically talked about coloured foods and how they supposedly, I don't know if it's the right word, cured themselves, but they went from being completely really, really bad to apparently being really, really good.
Hmm.
And there's this famous doctor. I know it's a female. I know she wears
Yeah,
glasses. I just
What's
Yeah,
can't
her
think of
name?
it.
she is pretty famous, and she does have a whole regiment of things. And she puts it out there that if you follow this regiment, then it'll work for you too. So
I know who you're talking about. My brain
yeah,
fog is just
that's okay.
I think
We don't endorse too many people here on 40 Below
okay.
Zero.
Good. Let's move on.
no, no, I'm not endorsing them. I'm just
Yeah,
like I've had so many people because it's linked to LinkedIn, which is a
yeah,
business website, and
right.
I keep getting sent this information. It's the same as things like stem cells.
Yep.
It's like I don't want stem cell replacement, and I don't want my autoimmune system killed off. But I still get sent all the you can try this and you can try that and do this and do that, and I'm like, yeah, but do you know exactly how that's going to affect me?
Yeah, that's the thing. There are many paths to managing and treating. Just as
Mm,
there are as many paths as there are people, you
yes.
know. So you know, to walk around and say this is going to work for everybody, and we're not there yet.
And that's the thing. They always tell you the good. They never tell you the bad. So like, yeah, so many people are walking, so many people, but they never tell you, oh, statistically speaking, 10 out of this people died. And,
Yeah.
from I'm just saying, I'm being truthful here.
Yeah,
So
and then you get into those commercials where they have to half the commercial is them telling you what's wrong, what could go wrong with the drug.
yeah. Mhm.
It cures one
Yeah.
thing and then wrecks 12 other things.
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely. Especially if you've got more than one condition, I guess. When your
Mhm,
conditions start stacking up and they're not all MS, then they all impact each other as well.
mhm.
So
You're growing your hair long or what?
um all the greys coming out. No, it's kind of winter. Over the winter I don't tend to get it cut. And then as I get nearer towards competition time, it will probably go really short. It might go red. We'll see. We'll see
All
what the
right.
kit looks like.
What's stacking up for competition season? You have anything big on your plate?
Yes, I've been reselected for the team, which is great. So I
Nice.
can compete for this
Congratulations.
year. Thank you. I've got Innsbruck in Austria in end of June, and then there's supposed to be the World Championships in September, end of September in South Korea, and then there's France in October. They're the three main ones I'm focusing on.
Wow.
Holy, you're going to be
Oh,
traveling
Yeah.
a
nothing
lot.
big, just, local stuff, right?
Yeah, that's the thing at that level. And then there's all these local countries competitions you can go to if you want to, but I'm not sure about them yet. It's a big financial impact this year. Um, it's like thousands of pounds and it's all self-funded, so it really comes down to I don't know if I want to go to South Korea because the jet lag's going to hit me, which is going to obviously hit how I can climb. And then I don't know if the food's going to be any good for me. And I don't know if I can afford to go because it's going to be so hot. So I've already made people aware on the team. I says, look, South Korea and MS don't work because of how hot it is and how it impacts my climbing. So
Yeah.
it's kind of up in the air at the moment.
I imagine muscle cramping and fatigue is not something you want when you're competitive climbing.
No, so the funny thing was I need to build up my strength and I need to condition my body to be able to do stuff. So I had my very first strength and conditioning training exercise yesterday. And over a 2 hour period, they asked me to do something 3 times, like 10 pull ups 3 times with a bit of a break, and five or six other exercises. And I've linked up with my old university so the students can try and learn how to use their degree against somebody. So they're using me. So he's
That's
like,
helpful.
just do 10 pull-ups. I went, I can't do 10 pull-ups yet. I'm not ready. Okay, just do this exercise. I went, okay, so you want me to lift a 12-kilogram kettlebell and stand up and sit down 10 times and do that 3 times. And I had the meeting from 12:30 till 2:30. I came home at 4 o'clock. I crashed. I was watching TV
Of
to
course.
relax. I fell asleep and I woke up at 10 o'clock this morning. And
Wow.
I went, okay, that was the first time we tried that. And I've got it every Monday between now and the first competition. And I'm like, to anybody else, doing these little exercises is not a lot. And I was trying to explain to the
Yeah.
student, I says, you've just run across this room 3 or 4 times, dragging boxes and weights like it was nothing. And I haven't told him that this test we did, because we want to see what we can do, because my calves and my quads don't work, and therefore I can't push up on the wall on my legs. So I says I
Right.
need upper body strength. So it's all about shoulders, biceps, and lats. So he's trying to push that a lot. And then he's like, well, I want you to stand up and sit down 10 times holding a kettlebell, which is 12 kilograms. I was like, yeah, I can do 10. But
12 kilograms. So
well,
that's 20 odd pounds. I'm just imagining
Mhm.
mine. Yeah, that's crazy.
yeah. And I stood up and sat down, and around sitting up on the 6th and 7th attempt, my ataxia started kicking in my legs.
Okay.
And then we'd sit and talk for 2 minutes, and then said, do another 10, and then sort of two or 3 minutes, and then do another 10. And I went, all I'm thinking about is, before I had MS, how that would have been too lightweight and not enough reps.
Yeah.
And it absolutely killed me. And my legs are really shaky today, and I'm just like, this is going to be really entertaining, and to see if it makes any difference to my climbing. But we need to give it a go, because I in my head, I know that my left side leg is really bad with pushing up, but I've never had the opportunity for somebody to monitor it and manage it, and see if we can
Right.
push the bar on whether doing these exercises will actually fire the muscles and make them worse, or
Yeah.
make them work, or it does nothing.
Yeah, that's
Couldn't even
that
monitor
you
it.
bring up an important point there. Um, when people exercise on their own, they tend to stop when it gets uncomfortable. But if you have a professional watching you, you said, no, you know, they can, like Terry talks about his trainer all the time, they can push you out of that comfort zone in a safe manner. Whereas
Mhm.
before you would just say, okay, I'm done. And you're not really
Yep.
gaining anything. You're not, like you said, moving the bar. So that's pretty great that you have someone paying attention to you now.
And it's funny because she's usually the one coaching people. So
Right.
now someone's coaching her, right? You're
Yeah, I mean,
always,
it's quite. Go on, Terry.
no, because you're always trying to see how, okay, you have your paraclimber. What issues do you have? Let's work around that. Let's try it this way. Remember, we were talking about me going sideways on the wall instead of going up?
Yeah,
And,
yeah.
a lot of these tips are really great coming from you who already knows,
Well, this is it. When I had the conversation with the chap, he basically went, right, well, over this next hour, we're going to do all these upper body exercises, and then we're going to do these lower leg exercises.
Hmm.
And before I did the first 10 pull-ups, he went, just do 10 pull-ups just to check you can do pull-ups.
Just 10.
And I couldn't do 10, because he said 10, and in my head I'm going, I can't do 6, and you want me to do 2 to begin with.
Yeah,
And
right.
basically the long and short of it was, I says, the first thing is my graph goes backwards. So an able-bodied person warms up and they try really hard. I says, I put everything at the top, and as soon as I start doing something, my fatigue dips, and then I start crashing.
I get it.
So
Yep.
in the second set, I couldn't even do 6. So we had to use a resistance band to hold the lower part of my body up and to help me up the wall. And I sort of said to him when he was doing it, he says, look, here's a 16-week plan of what I'm thinking we're going to do. And I says, okay. And I says, please bear in mind that this is a test for you and me, A, to see whether I can turn up on the same day of the week at the same time, and B, to see what my body's doing on that day. And he went, well, if your legs aren't working, then we'll stop doing the leg exercises. And I went, no, you can't do that. I says, my final's not going to stop. My quali's not going to stop. I'm still going to have to climb through this issue. And that's what I want to monitor. I want to see what happens if you push me when my legs aren't working, or when my fatigue's really bad. Yes, I'm going to crash the next day, but I actually want to see exactly what happens. We want to try and analyze it and build up something that basically says, this did or didn't work for me. And he's
Yeah.
like, okay, so now what you're basically saying is when I turn up next week, you want me to do the really hard exercise first and the easier exercise last. And I went, yes, but if I crash, I still need to do that exercise. So you can see what happens to somebody with MS when you think doing a plank is really easy, and I'm struggling because my ataxia is kicking in, but I still need to try and hit those targets,
Right.
because my final is always the day after the qualies, and that's when I rest. So I've got to try and work out. So we're going to see. It's going to be quite entertaining to see
Yeah, that's
if he
that's an
breaks me or
intense
not.
schedule. That's an intense schedule for everybody.
Yeah, yeah,
Like,
yeah,
you know,
absolutely.
like So, wow. Well,
Of
that's
all
the level you're at.
of all the paraclimbers, do you know anybody else? And we're talking about local, not around the world. Do you know anybody else that has MS?
Uh, not 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 on my team.
Okay.
However, weirdly, as you would know, that probably because of Jeremy, they've just had the American USA Nationals this weekend,
Mm-hmm.
and there were some new MSs in there and some old MSs in my
Yeah.
category. So yeah, it was just great because I could hear on the live stream, are any of the Europeans dialing in? Do you think they're spying on us and stuff like that? And I was like, yes. Yeah, this is the only opportunity to see how my competitors are.
Yeah.
And
Nice.
what the other thing was really interesting was they were talking about how all these people have been climbing for years, had joined the competition at the weekend in USA, and they'd been climbing for so many years with all these different impairments, whether it was cerebral palsy or visual impairments, and they'd all come to this national for the first time. Quite a few of them had made the finals, and they have a piece of paper that's like asks you what the funniest thing is you've done or what your expectations are and stuff. And everybody's expectations was, I want to get to LA 2020 Olympics. Like everybody's now coming out of the water, even if people have been climbing a year and they've never even heard of the word paraclimbing. So it's going to be great to see who comes from where and what they're doing. But yeah, no
That's
new
a
MSs in UK, but in other countries, yes.
what a way to put people with challenges, people of determination, as we refer to them, onto the main stage is the Paralympics. That's always a great time when everybody comes out of the woodwork.
Yeah, I think it's going to be an amazing time because, like I said in our previous chat, I don't know any sport that goes up that protects you with a rope. Like you can fall over playing other sports at the Olympics, but this one you're going to be tied on and you can give it your all
Yep.
and then fall on a rope and be protected. So it's going to be great to see what this does for the community in the world and show people that there are sports that can protect you as well as you giving it your all. I've never done wheelchair basketball or wheelchair rugby, but I'm sure you get beaten up a hell of a lot, or your fingers get trapped, or you get knocked over, and it's quite a brutal sport. But this is a team sport where you're obviously climbing against a wall and you're just following the pattern. You're just doing the best that you can on your day.
Yep.
So yeah, we're looking forward to seeing how it's going to progress over the next couple of years.
And Terry and I are actively looking forward to monitoring not only your progress and seeing how you're doing throughout competition season, but also seeing how all this ends up in LA for 2026. That's for sure. So
Okay, we
thank you
shall
so
do our
thank,
best.
So
thank you
is
so
that
very much for stopping by with us.
You're welcome.
It's a pleasure to see you again. I'm glad you're sticking to it. And don't worry, I can't do 10 pull-ups either. So
All right, guys, you have a lovely day. Have a
all
good
right,
chat.
cheers.
thank you so much. I'll talk
Take
to you
care.
soon.
All right, see you later, guys.
Bye.
That was awesome of her to stop by again and chat with us, Ter. You're always
Yeah.
stacking up the good guests, man.
Yeah, it's MS Awareness Month, man. What better
Yeah.
two guests to have?
But what a great way to be an ambassador is just to put yourself out there. You know, you don't have to have any, it doesn't, yes, they have training. Yes, the societies want you to make sure that you're comfortable, but really we're all ambassadors every day just because. So, I think I feel, well, obviously because we're here, but I feel a responsibility to educate people so that they understand why somebody is having a rough time or why I have my aides with me or whatever the case may be. So so if you're not involved already, you should get involved because you're already an ambassador. That's my opinion. All right, brother. Great show today, man. Had a lot of fun.
Awesome. Yeah, man.
Good. So well, I will talk soon.
We'll
Thanks,
talk soon,
everybody.
man. So check us out at 40belowzero.com. That's 4 letter T below zero.com. well, feel free to reach out to us. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@40belowzero.com. Our personal Instagram account are, for Nix, it's Nix_V713. Or for Terry, it's What's_MS. Awesome. Looking forward to hearing from you guys. We'll talk soon.